Hi everyone. Today we come to card 6 of the tarot deck. This would be our 7th card, but since 0 was the Fool, so today we come to number 6, that is the Lovers. Now, actually, this card used to be known as Two Paths, and at its core, this card is about two choices. It is about making hard choices, it is about dilemmas, and sometimes we have very difficult choices to make. One choice might be right, but the other choice might be more comfortable. One choice might be good for the short term, or but one choice is better for the long term. So this is a card about choices at its base. Now, uh, the beauty of Quanto life is that there is a way to synthesize and integrate these choices. Sometimes that is possible where you can integrate these choices into and a third option, which actually is even more beautiful, is possible. So, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, this is also a card about relating to people. It can be relating to your closest personal relationship. That could be your lover, it could be marriage, it could be and but it has a vibration of relating. Now you see, the two lovers, the man and woman, are facing each other, and the first thing that relating needs is a need to really acknowledge and face the other person completely and completely see him. And the second thing is that every relating needs a closeness, it needs intimacy, but it also needs a distance. It needs for there to be, as Khalil Gibran said, there need to be spaces between your togetherness for the, I forget the exact words, for the for the gods to dance between you, or the divine winds to dance between both of you. So, in fact, even a relationship is a very difficult choice that people have to make, is whether you're going to be an individual or whether you're going to be in union and become one. So, that was also seen as a choice in those days. You see, the two people, the man and woman, are not in embrace. They are, there is a little space between them. And you can see the angel from above. And and that is the superconscious. So in this case, the man is looking to the woman, and the in many of the cards, the man is looking to the woman and the woman is looking to the angel. So it is almost like the man is looking to the woman is like, what is the conscious choice, and then the woman looking up is what is the super conscious choice. And then there is usually a snake also in the picture, and of course there is all kinds of references to the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, and them biting the the apple, and the whole thing about temptation. So even that theme is being played out, and the snake here signifies the subconscious, your subconscious desires. So when you making a choice, all these subconscious, superconscious, conscious, everything is into play. And the snake has this ability of shedding its skin. Similarly, we can peel off the subconscious layers, and I think many I think probably that is the purpose of sadhana, and especially in quantum life, of synthesis, to shed those subconscious layers. Now, love can be, Osho says, that love that the way you relate to each other, there is a way of lust and physical intimacy and of relating, and then there is a higher way where you experience a union with the other person, and that is love. And then when you can take the ecstasy of that union and you can feel love with the whole cosmos, with everyone you meet, and everyone can feel that, that's when it is the highest, that is when it is compassion. So again this card is about relating and about ascending in how you relate with each other. Maybe you started with a physical intimacy, but now it has gone to love, and then it has gone to compassion. So in this card there is that element of duality, like there is, like, two choices, or uh, you know two people relating to each other, and it can be the I hate to be the person to say this, but usually this card does not signify romance. Even two people can get it even if they are in a marriage or they have a very close relationship, but usually it's a very karmic relationship. There will be the karmic bonds that will pull you all together. So there is a very, I mean, I have seen in my readings that whenever this card comes up, there is a very strong karmic bond, and it is that karmic. And many times I've seen, that when the runanubandhan or that dissolves, right, the relationship also feels like it's over. So it's a very strange card. You can actually, feel that karmic energy almost. So this card is, when you get this card in a reading, what does it mean? When you get this card in the reading, it is, there is a want in you to bring about greater harmony, greater union, to really use your people skills to build relationships. And it can also mean that there is a choice you have to make. It can mean that you have to reassess your relationship. We talked about those three tiers, and maybe you need to go a little higher than where you are. Maybe you need to check whether this relationship is already over and you're still clinging to it. You need to reassess that what is really working for both of you in this relationship and what is not. And if there is so much subconscious that has been accumulated, it's time to shed it, to learn how to start getting more aware and shedding that subconsciousness. There is, and because I was talking about this, sorry, my voice is not that good today. And because I was talking about the strong, intense karmic bond, in Sacred India Tarot, they give this example of Kach and Devyani. Now, this is like the kind of love story movies are made up of, because you have two gurus, Brihaspati, who is Jupiter, who is the guru of the Devas, and Shukracharya, who is the guru of the Asuras. And you can Google this story if you want. So, in those days, and um, Jupiter has a son called Kacha, and Shukracharya has a daughter called Devyani. And at this point in the Vedic times, the Shukracharya, or the guru of Asuras, he had a vidya, he had a to resurrect the dead people. It was known as Sanjeevani Vidya. And the Devas, they had a more complicated way. It was just like, I don't think the the amrit, they had not had amrit, they required amrit to prolong their long lives, but they did not live forever. They were almost immortal, but they were not immortal. And like for example, Indra is a position, so it is not the same Indra. It is like when a certain being has reached a certain level of consciousness and Shakti, he becomes Indra, and he rules for a really, really long time over the Devas. And so there is a more complicated mechanism. But Shukracharya was able to resurrect the Asuras through his Vidya. And so the Devas were like, we gotta do something. So, and learn this because we are losing in our battle with the demons, with the Asuras. We are losing. So Jupiter sent his son Kacha, or the Devas decided that we're going to send Jupiter's son Kacha to Shukracharya to learn. Now these are the Vedic times. This was a time, very honorable time, where even if your enemy's son came to you as a student, if he was deserving, you would teach him everything you had. And um, and Kacha was deserving, so you wouldn't teach everything to anyone, but if he was deserving, you would teach him. And so the Asuras got very, very angry. So they would kill Kacha, but they didn't real. But Shukracharya could revive him. That was his talent. That was his Vidya. So they kept doing that. And one day they got really furious at what do we do. So they actually burnt him. They took the ash. They put it in Sura, which is the it's an intoxicant, and they fed it to Shukracharya. So Shukracharya again, Devyani comes to him and she's like, "Oh, he's gone," and Shukracharya is like, "Oh, I will bring him back to life," and he tries to revive him, and he revives Kacha, and then figures out he's in the stomach. So now what to do? So now the only way to get Kacha out is to is for them to have surgery. Basically, Shukracharya has to die, Kacha has to come out of his stomach, and then for Shukracharya to be alive, Kacha has to do the Sanjeevani Vidya on him. So in this way, actually the Asuras by doing that actually made it. You see the mistake they made. Now Shukracharya had to teach the Kacha the Sanjeevani Vidya to live, because if Kacha was still in his stomach, Devyani was like, "Oh, I don't want to live anymore," and he didn't want to hurt his daughter, whom he dearly loved. So this way, Kacha got, now Devyani now uses her love, and she's like, "Oh, get married and live with the Asuras." But then now he brings up a technical point that I came out of your father's womb, so I'm your brother, so I cannot get married to you. So this way, this whole game got played, and Kacha was very tempted to live, but then he said, okay, no, what is the right choice here? For him, the choice he made was that he wanted to go back and bring this knowledge to the Devas. So, these are all choices, but look at the story and you can tell how karmically connected these people might have been. Or even, like there is this bond of obligation and, so this is this is the kind of energy of the Lover's card. I think I have said. So what I want you all to do is I want you to go back to some very difficult choice that you might have made in life. So I want you to tell me about a go to the point where you had to make a very difficult choice, and what was it, and what did you choose, and what do you feel about it now. Alternately, you can also talk about relating any relationship you're having a difficulty with right now, and you can talk about that, because that's what the Lover's card is about looking at your relationships and or looking at any problem. When you get a lover's card, you look at the problem and you say, okay, how can I build a stronger relationship with this person to resolve the issue? When this card comes, you're always looking for creating greater harmony. Sometimes the greater harmony means that person is not in your life, but is to ask that person to leave from your life. But even that, the thing in this card is you want to create a union. You want to resolve a problem by using all the people skills you have, and you want to make the right choice.